How is everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and welcome to the Fake News Awards 2017. Today is Thursday, January 18th, 2018. Most of these stories happened last year in 2017, but it might be a little bit of spillover into right now in 2018. We got quite a few good contenders. The first up, we're going from 1 to 12. We're not going from back to front or front to back. I'm not quite sure. These awards were posted by the GOP, not on the whitehouse.gov. So don't anybody get triggered talking about, oh, nobody in my house could do that. This is not what's going on. This is straight from the GOP. This was not a whitehouse.gov operation. Of course, Trump was involved, but I digress. Let's get to the first nominee and winner, and that is Paul Krugman of the New York Times, and his claim that on the day of President Trump's historic landslide victory, that the economy would never recover. I think there was a headline here, and I may place that on the screen before you, that says Paul Krugman says markets will, quote, never, unquote, recover from Trump, but Dow hits record high. That is hilarious. That is a big fake news story right there. I think that we've all seen how the economy has definitely responded very well under Trump. We've seen record low unemployment, especially in the black community, the lowest unemployment ever recorded since 1972, when the stat was first taken in the USA. We're talking about the Dow Jones being as high as it's ever been, over 26,000 as of a couple of days ago in 2018. We're talking about big numbers. We're talking about Apple investing billions of dollars, like 60 billion total, if I'm not mistaken. And if I'm wrong about that, let me know in the comments below. But we're talking about big league numbers, okay? So not only has the economy improved, the economy has improved bigly, but let's get down to the next nominee and winner, and that is number 2. ABC News' Brian Ross chokes and sends markets in the downward spiral with false report. Now, that was crazy. I forget what the exact report said. It was some kind of report. It was a report, and if I can find what the report was, I'll put that in the description box below. But the report was so false. It was so toxic, it was so inflammatory, the stock markets plunged as a result. So these guys are out here just putting out fake stories. They're not thinking about what the ramifications are going to be in the real world. They're not thinking that you're going to have real consequences happen as a result of their fake news. But obviously they do have consequences. Even though this guy basically tried to tank the stock market by himself, the market has definitely rebounded from that, and we're at the highest it has ever been in the entire history of the Dow Jones, as I said earlier. But let's get to number 3, and we have CNN falsely reporting that candidate Donald Trump and his son Donald J. Trump Jr. had access to hacked documents from WikiLeaks. Yes. There was a lot going on about that. The whole WikiLeaks kerfuffle, the whole Russia kerfuffle. We'll probably get to the Russia kerfuffle a little bit later. But the whole WikiLeaks thing, the Trump Jr., his son-in-law, Jared Kushner, a lot of people have been implicated in WikiLeaks and all this and that. Most, if not all of it, has been proven to be an outright lie. If not an outright lie, just a mistruth. And number 4, we have Time falsely reporting that President Trump removed the bust of Martin Luther King Jr. from the Oval Office. Yeah, that was a crazy one because there's a bust of Martin Luther King Jr. in the White House. It's been there for quite a while. I'm not quite sure how long it's been there. If you know how long it's been there, let me know in the comments below. But it has been there for a while, and then Time Magazine reported that somehow it had been taken away. I'm not sure where they got that story from, and they just made it up out of the clear blue sky to make Trump look bad. Maybe they thought nobody would go back and do any kind of investigation. However, they were proven to be wrong. The bust is still there. Trump is still not a racist. No matter how you try to spin it, that's just not what's going on. Let's get to number 5. Yes, I do have sheets of paper. You know, this is 2017, 2018. That's fine. But I'm still old school with it. Hey, maybe you see me one day out there being the foot reporter. I doubt it, but maybe. Number 5, Washington Post falsely reporting that the president's massive sold-out rally in Pensacola, Florida was empty. Dishonest reporter showed picture of empty arena hours before crowd started pouring in. And of course, right now, you will see some screenshots of that whole kerfuffle on the screen before you. They did the same thing at the inauguration. It was similar at the inauguration. There was kind of a lower turnout at the inauguration than inaugurations past, probably because people were scared for their safety. They didn't want to get seen there and get hurt by some crazy Antifa or whatever the case, the hordes of minions that Barack Obama unleashed upon society. Not just Obama, but many other actors on both sides of the aisle. But I digress. The whole point is that the media will stop at nothing to make Trump, to make Republicans, to make anybody that supported Trump, voted for him or whatever, just look bad. Okay, they posting the pictures of a half-empty rally and say, look at your rally that you're going to, American citizen. Look at the rally that you are hosting, Donald Trump. It's poor. It's a nothing burger. It's just something that nobody wants to attend, but it's just false. And the reality is, the more they keep doing that, the more they just embolden us that are on the right to do the right things rather than go be dealing with them. But I'm gonna move on to number 6. We have CNN falsely editing a video to make it appear that President Trump defiantly overfed fish during a visit with the Japanese Prime Minister. The Japanese Prime Minister actually led the way with the feeding. That was a crazy story. I did a video about that, and if I can find it somewhere on my channel, I'll place that in the description box below. But I'm sure you'll be able to find it, and I'm sure you've already seen it if you're a fan of my channel. And if you're not subscribed already, please do so. I'd greatly appreciate it. Also, visit my website for some merchandise and stuff like that. But I'm gonna move on. This was really a crazy one because I remember seeing the first video, how they edited it very deceptively, and I knew right away that that was false. Okay, they made it seem like Trump just went up to the koi pond with a box of koi fish food and just emptied the entire box into the pond, rather than doing the right thing, which is to take a spoon and just generously, lightly sprinkle the food into the pond. What really happened was he was doing the spoon feeding into the actual koi pond from the box with the spoon, as was the Prime Minister of Japan, or the President of Japan. I'm not quite sure what the title is. Shinzo Abe. Shinzo Abe was right beside him doing the exact same thing. At the end of the box, when they were done feeding the fish, Shinzo Abe lifted his box up, turned it upside down, and emptied the rest. And Trump did the same thing. But they didn't talk about what Shinzo Abe did. They talked about what Trump did to make Trump look bad. But like I said before, I am not surprised. But let's move on to the next nominee and winner for Fake News Awards of 2017. CNN falsely reporting about Anthony Scaramucci's meeting with a Russian, but retracted it due to a, quote, significant breakdown in process, unquote. What that means is they got some bad information. They got caught in the lie. They doing some damage control to shield the fact that they reported a fake story. They reported fake news. If that's what's going on, it's very easy. It's very simple to see. Okay. They've done a lot of retractions. I think Carol Costello got on television. Remember that clip? We need our weave. Remember that? I think that might have been, Sylville Smith, somebody that got shot, some young black male that got shot. And then there was a riot. And then I think his sister or somebody that knew him was on television talking about, don't tear up the community right here, go further out and tear up their stuff. And then she was like, we need our weave. Basically, don't tear down the beauty supply stores because I need my weave. They, CNN, reported it as she was like being an anti-violence advocate. All she was doing was saying, hey, you could tear up stuff, just don't tear it up right where I live. Go to the suburbs and tear up their stuff. Okay, they got on television and apologized for that. There were many other things that they got caught doing red-handed, staging events, false flagging events, just reporting story. Every day I see CNN on the internet. I don't watch CNN on television, but when I see a clip of them, your Jim Acosta's, all these other people, all these other lunatics on CNN, they report stories, if not in an overtly false way, in a covertly false way. So I am not surprised that they did that with Scaramucci or the We Need Our Weave or anything else. But let's keep going. Number 8, Newsweek falsely reported that Polish First Lady Agata Kornhauser-Duda did not shake President Trump's hand. Yes, I remember that one. Remember that when he might have been in Poland, he might have been in US, I'm not quite sure. But it was a handshake video that got shared, and if I can find that, I'll place it on the screen or in the box. But in the handshake video, it appears as if the first lady skips over Trump and shakes Melania's hand. But really what was going on was that everybody was shaking hands with everybody. Okay, she shook Melania's hand, then shook his hand. The president shook Melania's hand and shook Trump's hand, or vice versa. Okay, CNN put the clip out there as if the first lady, the president's wife, just decided to skip Trump in the whole process and go for Melania. Maybe she likes Melania more. Maybe she hates Trump. That was the whole thing there. But that was just another episode of fake news, as is part of the course for CNN. And before I continue with the fake news awards and nominees, I was expecting more of a particular network who's going to be the fake news award getter, CNN, NPR, NBC, ABC, or whatever. I'm going to put a poll right there on the upper right hand corner. It should be popping up right now. Click on that to let me know who the biggest fake news generator of 2017 was. Number 9, CNN falsely reported that former FBI Director James Comey would dispute President Trump's claim that he was told he is not under investigation. CNN is pretty much leading the way here. And as far as CNN and James Comey, I don't know what's going on with James Comey, to be quite honest. I don't know if he is a friend or foe, if he is a snitch, or if he is I don't know what's going on with him. You know, I'm seeing him outside of New York Times, you know, somebody's going to write a book. I saw him during the election do a good thing for us. He went out there and said that Hillary Clinton should be locked up. She's corrupt, this, that, and the third. Now, I will say that it was disappointing that he didn't lock her up or do anything like that. But hey, beggars can't be choosers. At least he said that. It's good that he is now fired, so we'll be able to go forward. I think there's actually an indictment in a case relating to Hillary Clinton. Maybe, just maybe, wishful thinking, I'm not quite sure. Maybe, hopefully, we'll get closer to locking Hillary Clinton up. But with James Comey in there would have been no chance for that. So CNN, James Comey, I'm not sure if they were in bed together to create the fake news or what. But I'm going to move on to the next fake news nominee and winner. Number 10, the New York Times falsely claimed on the front page that the Trump administration had a hidden climate report. And the headline reads, New York Times guilty of large screw up on climate change story. Now, I've not seen this, be quite honest with you, but I'm not surprised that they would report something like this. This is almost like UFO, Bigfoot, you know, something like that. Some kind of like crazy disclosure that they have that they don't have. I mean, come on. Everybody knows at this point that climate change is fake. It's not real. It's basically something that Al Gore, Bill Nye, all these other profiteers just parrot all around the world, all around the country to make money. Okay. These guys like Al Gore have these big mansions, these big sprawling estates. They fly around the world in these big gas guzzling jets, airplanes, whatever they have. Okay. Passenger, private. Okay. They do all that. The carbon footprint from them alone is much far and beyond the average person in the U.S. that he wants to accuse of denying climate change. It's really dumb, but at the end of the day, I think most of us pretty much see what's going on. And the mainstream media, the liberal media, many of them get paid by these lobbies to put out fake stories like this. So it's no surprise that a fake climate change story about the presidency, about Trump, about the right, about the Republican Party was put out. But last but not least, we have number 11, and that is the greatest hoax of all. Russia collusion, Russia. That is the biggest lie, the biggest hoax, the biggest fake news story of 2017. And be quite honest, of 2016 to 2015 and 2018. I think maybe there's a little bit of the wind going out of the Russia sails. I think the hottest new trend right now, yes, trend, is the whole Me Too phenomenon. That's pretty much the wave right now. Nobody wants to talk about Russia and Vladimir Putin, all this, that, and the third. And I think maybe the reason for that, aside from it just losing popularity, losing steam with regular everyday people, is the fact that the more they keep turning up rocks, they keep finding things that point right back to the left, that point right back to Hillary Clinton, that point right back to the mainstream media themselves, that point right back to the mainstream media not only colluding, but also engaging in nefarious activities with the so-called Russians. Okay. And then at a certain point, where's the xenophobia? Where's the cries for that? Because I see a lot of people say how the immigration situation, the wall, that's about xenophobia. That's about being afraid of other people from different places. But what about the Russia scandal and that whole kerfuffle? Is that not xenophobia? Does that not fall under the same umbrella as the whole Mexico kerfuffle? According to the left, it does. And I think many average people that are not in mainstream media, that are not part of the media cabal, are starting to see this. That could be what's contributing to the decline in importance in reporting of the stories. But I doubt that it's going to go away. This was a very interesting thing, and shout out to all of you who have made it to the end. I greatly appreciate you. Please visit my website, anthonyblogan.com. Get you some merch, donate, do whatever you want to do. And I want to thank Donald Trump. I want to thank the GOP, and I want to thank the lamestream media. Yes, I'm going to thank them as well, because without the lamestream media, this wouldn't be possible. I've had a lot of fun doing this video, and I thank Trump for doing this. Hopefully next time he records it live, has red carpet, the whole nine, rather than me right now sitting in front of my green screen. He can have a real production. That'd be fantastic. Put it on the same night as the Emmys or the Grammys or something like that, and see which performance, see which show does better. That'd be fantastic. You'll be able to see the true pulse of America. So what do you think? Do you think those stories, those 11 I just mentioned, were worthy of being the top fake news stories of 2017? If not, what would you have put there instead? How about the order of it? Do you think one should have been lower than the other, higher than the other? What news stations, outlets do you think should be the fake news winners of 2017? CNN, NPR, ABC, Fox News? Maybe you think that. I don't know. I'm just throwing it out there. I'm trying to be bipartisan and I'm trying to be fair. But whatever your thoughts are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.